So, but you're in the mustard business. So what
Yeah.
questions do you have of me?
Yeah, so we're just starting out. Just started selling mustard two or 3 weeks ago, and just kind of curious how to get into it. Do we need a distributor? I talked to a distributor that said you really need a broker. Mixed messages, and I've seen you online
Yep.
too many times, so I said, okay, finally, I'll set up a
Yeah.
call.
Yeah, the first thing you should do is get my book. Everyone's got a recipe. I'll get a hard
Okay.
copy of the book. I've already gone to your website. You're not following anything. The people that have made millions of dollars with food, you're going in the opposite direction. What's the reason you wanted to get in the mustard business? How come that happened?
Yeah, so the last 12 years I was running the family business, and that was down in Toledo. We sold that, and I moved up here, which was the goal, is to move up here. And just searching for a job, couldn't find a job, and found this on Facebook Marketplace of all places. And it was a mustard business. So went into that about a year ago now, and we finally got a kitchen up and running,
Mhm.
and yeah, we're slinging mustard all over town right now. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, how many homes are you in with your mustard in the last month or the last year? How many people have purchased? How many different consumers have purchased your product?
So it's mainly local.
So,
Yeah.
of those 4 or 5 stores, how many weeks have you been in them?
Um, some of them only less than a week. So two of them less than a week, and two we've been in for 2 weeks now.
Oh, wow. One, two, three, four. Okay, so is that 6 weeks total?
Yeah.
Okay, so how many units have you sold in 6 weeks? In those 6 weeks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we've sold. It's hard to tell with like how many have sold off the shelf.
That's what I'm
Uh,
asking. That's what I'm
yeah. So the one store, the one local store, we went through 3 cases in a week, and they just ordered
asking.
four more cases.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so the question is, how can you expand that? How can you do better? Let's just say that like I'm a super salesperson and or you're talking to a food broker, super food broker who loves mustard and like, oh wow, this is the best mustard on my bratwurst ever. I want to sell this nationwide. I want to go help you. And he
Yeah.
says, you know what? And next Monday he puts you in 5,000 stores. What's going to happen to your business?
It's going to be absolutely insane. It's it'll be hard to keep up with, stockpiling everything and getting everything going. So
Yeah, it
yeah.
would. Yeah, and then what's gonna also gonna happen is you're gonna face market pressures that you don't realize that you're not aware of, and it's going to be very difficult for you to to um, to handle those issues. And for many people, it's been enough to put them out of business. So my point is, it's not. You don't want to go into 5,000 stores. Just your problem's not a sales issue. I don't know if I've said that in any of my videos in the way I'm sharing it with you,
Yeah.
but is it different? Is what do you think when I share that?
It makes expanding too fast, and it would have taken us under. So it
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so you've got experience that. Okay.
Hmm.
So right off the bat, so this is the this is a great time for you and I to be talking because it's what would be a successful call for you in this call for you to be successful and help you in what you're doing. Because we
Yeah,
only got
just
like 15 minutes.
right. Just any advice you'd give me, it would be greatly accepted. It's watching Dano from 0 to 5 million. That was that's pretty powerful. We're at 0. I don't see ourselves getting to 5 million overnight,
Yeah.
or anywhere close to that. But just what were the steps? What would be the best recommendation? Um, we're talking with an
Yeah.
online program right now.
Selling it in any farmers markets or any events or festivals or locations or
No,
family and friends buying?
we're signed up to do a farmers market this summer.
Okay.
So
So
we'll
you
be
need to get a
attending.
notebook. This is a note, just a notebook. But
Okay.
my recommend you absolutely who is buying it, why are they buying it, what's the reason they
Hmm.
buy it, what are they saying to you when they buy it, what are the comments, if I went through all your comments, what's going on with who they are, what's the reason, and what do they have to say about it also. And you want to capture all that and you want to begin thinking in their language. So like when I already know when I go to your website already doesn't your website is selling this great tasting recipe mustard.
Yeah.
And it's like you're like auditioning for a part. And I'm just sharing with you very,
Yeah.
very, very direct. So you're auditioning for a part. The issue is people they don't know they need a mustard or they're not searching for a new mustard. And so there's not like a if you're going to there's not a professional buyer mustard buyers. And so you're not addressing the reason they would be buying this with your site. So if you want to get some ideas on how to do this, I would go to the National Potato Idaho Potatoes and get on their mailing list. And they're one of the largest cooperatives in the world. Um, and look at how they're selling potatoes. They're not selling potatoes on this is the best spud. You know, this potato is the highest grade of potato in the world.
Hmm.
They're taking it to the consumer and they're thinking about the market and how this makes their life better. So that's what I'd be asking. When I go to your website, there's nothing there that says this mustard is going to make my life better. How are you going to transform my eating experience? How are you going to make my life better? And that's what I want to know. I don't want to know this is the best mustard because I don't try every mustard in the set. I don't like go and look, and consumers don't shop that way. And they're not looking for, they don't go, I'm buying French's mustard. I wonder if I should be buying a better mustard. Like, when you buy
Right.
insurance, like in aviation, you definitely have requirements. When you have to buy a part for aviation, there's like this spec sheet. That's not
Hmm.
the way consumers buy. And they're not going to evaluate you. They're not going to go through it. You're selling a physical product on your website. My point is you want to sell an improvement in someone's life, the consumers. How are you going to help them to be more successful? And my book walks you, what was the reason those three cases were sold? Did they say, oh, they just want to help you out? They're a family member and they're just like, oh, yeah, I know him. I'm going to buy it. Or is it, oh, I want this for bratwurst. Oh, I want this to go on my sandwich. Oh, I love eggs. So you need to
Yeah.
figure that out.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So the first thing is, who are these customers that buy your product? And you need to know them. You need to befriend them. You need to interview them. You need to use their language. Think about it. Then what are they eating it on? How they use it. How has it improved their life? What is it they say? What are the words they use? Number two, and this is what we did with Dan. I, I did the exact same thing in 2017. We did with you. I'm sharing with you is what we did with Dan, and Dan is like, Dan, go to the festivals, get your notebook out. What is it that motivates them to buy your product? Number two, in the book. Number two is how you communicate with them. I've already jumped into that when talking about using their language, but
Hmm.
the message you use for your product, there's like no message on your website. You don't even think about message. You're like, this is a great recipe. This tastes great. There's nothing like it. This is the best tasting. This is a premium. But that's not the message necessarily that people are looking for. But you need to find that. But the message you use, the third thing is going to be the channel. So we didn't even talk about it, but you mentioned I think you're in. Are you? You're. We had 6 weeks of sales, but I think you're only in 4 stores. Is that right?
Right.
Are they all supermarkets? What kind of stores are they?
There's, it's like three supermarkets and then two specialty stores.
Yeah, two special. Okay, so work. Just be thinking about the channel. The channel is so important. You
Hmm.
select, and then is this good for Whole Food? You really want to stay within 60 miles of home for right now until you get somewhere between 50 and 100 stores, and you really want to work through the first three parts of what we talked about. Who is your
Hmm.
avatar, your customer avatar? What is the
Hmm.
message that resonates with them? And then what are the channels you're doing best in those 60 stores? Once you figure all that out, then you can start to scale that success. But you don't want to scale until you get there. You mentioned early on, you brought up the fact about brokers. Brokers are terrible at pioneering products. They just
Okay.
there's lots of reasons, but they just are not very good at pioneering new products. So you need to pioneer it and then demonstrate the success. You share with them the incredible sales numbers that you have in your 50 stores, then they can help you and it can be
Okay.
successful. But
Yeah.
if you turn it the other way around and rely on them for success, you're going to have a lot of problems and they're going to think they own your company and all kinds of crazy things happen. But they generally are not very helpful, except if you're bringing them success, you're going to bring them new dollars. They're going to make money with your product. That's where you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
Um, Now we're getting to the product. So we've just gone through the first three parts of the book. We did the consumer, we did the messaging for the consumer, and we did the channel that you're in. That's the most important part for you to make money with the mustard. Now
Mm-hmm.
we the fourth, the mustard's not even important. I haven't even talked about the product. And so it's that unimportant. It's the fourth thing on the list. And so now that we're talking about that, I definitely recommend you have three varieties if you're going to be sold at retail,
Mm-hmm.
because you'll have more shelf presence. And so you don't want to have, if you can do three flavors, I recommend you do that. You don't
Yeah.
have to do it, but that would be my recommendation. And
That's what
then
we currently have.
and then be thinking about um, how to get that up. And so the retail price point. That was one of the things that we did with Danos because to start the business, one of the hardest things in the beginning is to find customers. And the customers that bought those cases of product from you, those three cases,
Mm-hmm.
because you're a local company, because they know you, because they trust you, they probably have sampled the product somewhere. It'd be very simple for them to have bought a $20 item from you as well. That's what we did with
Yeah.
Dano's. His original seasonings were in the $20. We did a big size. It wasn't that much more cost because it's just a larger unit. And then we were selling originally for $20 a lot of product. And so I would be thinking, and I would be suggesting, how can you get to a $20 retail? And I'll be experimenting with that
Yeah. Okay.
immediately. And I'd like for you to be the number one mustard a year from now in Traverse City, beating all the national brands in Traverse City and within, say, 30 miles of Traverse City. You need to be the number one national brand. You need to also, I would like for you to be making about somewhere between 50 and 60% margin. And if you do that, you're gonna have a strong business and a bright future. You're gonna do great. Multiple clients of mine have done it.
Yeah.
The simplest thing for you to do is to be the number one mustard in Traverse City because the national brands can't compete with you on that scale. You're going to put so much effort, work, marketing, uh, eff- um, actions into that market that no national brand can compete with you because if they did, they would have to duplicate that over 250 cities around the country. There's 250 cities in the U.S. with more than 150,000 consumers, and so they would have. There's no way they can't spend that kind of money nationwide to compete with you. You're going to be number one in Traverse City if you do the work. And
Mm-hmm.
so you're also going to bring so much new dollars to the retailers in that category if you do everything that's required. And so that's what you need to do. You do that, then it's going to be so simple for you to go to other cities, go to other markets. You're going to tout your story. You're going to have a great story to tell. You're going to work on it. And you've got a great business and potential national.
Well, hey, I really appreciate your time and
You're welcome.
your knowledge on the subject. That's really helpful.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Good luck to you. I
All right.
look forward to hearing about your success.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. All right.
Bye bye.
Talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye.